Okay, so I'm sharing my screen now. If you can see my PowerPoint, if you can see the screen, it says worksheet 8, living together. Put out your hand or give me a thumbs up. Okay, either you put out your hand or you give me a thumbs up. That will be very helpful. Right. Okay. Now, this topic, you know that when you look at this particular topic, right, you're coming to almost the end, right, of the syllabus for science. How many of you already have started on living together? So it's actually on, yeah, Zhen Yan put out the hand, right? So it's on interaction. It's about, how living things, living organisms interact with the environment. So you need to know the kind of environment that living things live in affects their survival, affects how well they can live, how they can reproduce, etc. Right. So what you need to know over here, okay, I have actually given some quick notes. So the environment that we live in, even you and me, we're all living things, right, has unique characteristics that will ensure that we can reproduce and grow healthily. Okay, that will then also ensure, continuity of our kind. Pranati, there's a background picture that you put up, Pranati. Okay. Pranati, can you be in the video? Okay. Now, the factors of an environment, okay, that will affect the survival of living things include the following. All right. So what is it that is in the environment that will affect us? Light. Okay, whether there's light or not. Okay, Pranati, I can see just now you actually put a background, which is your photo, right, Pranati? Don't think I don't know. I'm quite smart, I can see all that. Don't do it again, can? Pranati, if you need to just excuse yourself, it's fine with me. Okay, so light, especially, plants without light. You think plants can survive?
No.
No, right? Yeah, Ian, don't laugh. I know she's doing it again, Ian. Ian, you should concentrate on the class instead of looking at their photo. Yes. Okay, so light is required for plants to actually photosynthesize. Okay, without light, plants cannot photosynthesize, right? Cannot make food. Cannot make food, the plant will die. Correct? And if there are no plants, what do you think will happen?
No oxygen.
There'll be no oxygen. Okay, yeah. There'll be no oxygen. That's true because during photosynthesis, oxygen is being given out.
There's
right?
no food for plant eaters.
There's no food for plant eaters. Shamu, let me look at you. Okay, so there's no food for plant eaters. Plant eaters are actually animals. Agree? Okay, so plant eaters, okay, are in turn being eaten by something else.
Carnivores.
And what is carnivores? Good. So what is this kind of relationship represented by? Okay, do you have any idea? Before food web. Before food web is very complicated. The very simple one is known as food chain. Yeah, food chain. Okay, we'll go into that later. Now, another thing is temperature. Can you imagine if Singapore is suddenly very cold every day, like 1-2 degrees, or maybe even -1, -2, even up to -5? Can you imagine that happens? How will you feel? Some of you will say, wow, that would be nice. Singapore is too hot, too humid. Correct? Now, some of you will feel that way. Yeah, but that's because we are always living in a very hot climate. Okay, every day, you are perspiring, you're sweating, you feel sticky, you don't feel good. In aircon room, you feel very comfortable, right? But what is the temperature set for your aircon room? The optimal is about 24 degrees, right? And that is just like cooling and nice. You can sleep well, you can function well. But if it's too cold, everybody will suffer. Okay, a lot of plants also cannot survive this kind of harsh condition. So the temperature is important to ensure survival also. Okay, now you will think that you want a very cool climate, but when you are living in very cold countries, okay, you will find that it is actually not fun. It is actually not fun. Your skin will be dry, your lips will crack, you have to wear gloves all the time. You can't hold things well. You can't go out and run and play. Okay, it's very different. Wait till you experience it. You will understand what I mean. So air also affects survival. In fact, the three things that ensure the survival of living things are air, food, and water. Agree? So air, how does air come into play? We need oxygen to survive, isn't it? Plants need carbon dioxide to photosynthesize. Okay, so oxygen and carbon dioxide, these are actually needed. Okay, so without air, I think we will not survive at all. Okay, next thing, water. All right, I mentioned already air, food, and water, right? Okay, so availability of food. Are you going to stay in a place where you can't get food easily? Are you going to stay in a place where there are no plants at all? No. Okay, so we have to be very careful about, how the factors of our environment affect us, how the factors of a new environment will affect your survival. Okay, even for the animals also, if they want to change habitat, the place they live in, it is important that they can actually look for an environment where all the factors are favorable to them. Okay, are you going to actually have, the animals, changing their habitat and then they move to an environment, right, where there are a lot of predators? You know what are predators? How many of you know what are predators? This term. Good. So you all know. So can you tell me what is the meaning of predator? Ange? Ange, unmute yourself and tell me. What's predator to you?
A hunter.
Who is the one who answered?
Nabil.
Nabil, you answered. What's predator?
A hunter. Or
Hunter.
a sort of it. Like
A sort of
things
hunter.
who like hunt or go for a specific thing.
Thing. In this case, how do you define that thing?
Like animals, they hunt for like food and plants, so they are like predators of that kind.
Okay, he said that, predators that are like animals that are hunting for other animals and plants. Is that right? So let me ask you.
Carnivores?
Yeah, kind of. So how many of you think that Nabil is correct? Okay, Gregory, I will correct you later. Okay, so I have someone put up the hand. Okay, yeah, a few of you put up the hand. So you think that he's correct. So you think Nabil's definition of a predator is correct, yeah? So he said, is it actually an animal that hunt other animals and plants? Wrong. What is wrong? Can anybody highlight to me?
Hunt plants.
Or again, Shamu?
Hunt plants.
Not plants, right?
No, we cannot hunt plants.
Yeah. Do you need to hunt plants?
No.
Let me ask you, what's the meaning of hunting? Hunting means you must chase after, right? Run after something, and then, you saw a tiger chasing another animal like a deer, correct or not? You have watched videos on that, right? So when tigers are hunting down deers, the tiger is actually trying to run after it. The deer will be running away. Agree? Or do you think the deer is going to stand there and wait for the tiger to eat it? No, it's not going to happen. But plants, can plants run away? Do you think you need to chase after a plant? No, right? Yeah, plants will not run away. So Nabil, be careful of that. Yeah. So you don't actually.
Can I go to the toilet?
Yes, you can. All right. So other terms that you need to know, I'm just giving you a very quick summary. Population. What's the meaning of population? Several organisms of the same kind. For example, let's say I have the tadpole, okay, and then young of the tadpole as well as adult frog. They all belong to the same kind, right? Okay, and then the animal is known as frog population. So how many are there? How many tadpoles? How many young frog, or how many adult frogs there are? We are talking about the population size. Can y'all take note of this? These are important keywords, yeah? And then we talk about habitat. Habitat is where an organism lives, grows, and reproduces. Community. Community has got many different types of population living together in the same habitat. Example, mangrove swamp community. You have organisms like the mangrove plant. You have mudskipper, you have frog, you have crocodile. So crocodile is like one population, frog another population, okay, mudskipper another population. Clear? Field community, so you have organisms such as this, and this. Okay, so you have to understand the difference between population, habitat, community, this three. So far, so good. No questions, right? Okay. Then we need to go into the food chain and food web. Okay, because this particular chapter for your worksheet, right, you're dealing a lot with the food chain and the food web. So look at this. Plants make their own food. That's why we call them the producer. They produce food. How do they actually make their own food? They need something very important, which is the source of energy. What is that?
The sun.
The sun. Good. The sun is actually the main source of energy. So it all starts from the sun. Huh? So the sun gives the energy to the plant makes food, right? In photosynthesis. So excess food is being stored in the plant. Then consumer. Okay. Plants produce, the animals that eat the plants will be known as consumer. So they get the food from the producers directly. Okay, but then later I want you to think of something. Plant eaters will be then the consumers that eat plants only. Plant eaters. How many of you here are vegetarian? That means you will not eat meat. Anyone? Okay, Pranati, you are. Okay, for me, I only eat vegetarian food on certain days. Yeah, so I'm partially plant eater. But actually, if you want to look at me as a whole, I'm actually a plant and animal eaters. Most of us are these. Unless you're going to tell me, okay, you don't eat both plants and animals, you only eat other animals, you do not eat plants. Then you will be known as animal eaters. Yes or no? So I heard somebody talk about certain terms earlier, like carnivores. Okay, so what can you add on to this particular slide? Some of the extra terms that you already know. Okay, for example, I heard Gregory saying this will be carnivores, right? Gregory, did you say earlier? Oh, Gregory, you went to the toilet, yeah? Okay, so carnivores are the predators, yes, because they hunt and kill other animals for food. Okay, so carnivores are the animal eaters. Okay, Gregory, you are back. Were you the one who told me that predators are also known as carnivores?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so they are the animal eaters. Okay, so these are known as carnivores. What about plant eaters? Is there a special name for them? Julian, did you say something, Julian?
Herbivore.
Herbivore. Okay, that's right. What about the plant and animal eaters?
Omnivore.
Omnivores, right.